And it's MOOC Live. It's Simon. I'm pretty. Yeah. So this is. I mean, we've released the. I guess we're technically in the last week. Bring the right thing into the right place. Bunk. Urgh. Yeah. I mean, the last quiz is being released today. So I was just going to go and look at. I think there's nothing particular for that. Yeah, so quiz 3. I don't think there's anything I have to change. So yeah, that will just be going out, I think, in 45 minutes. So yeah, the main thing I was going to do now was look at I don't know, Dave. Amanda's going to be through adding the screenside chats into places in the. That's not visible yet, is it? But I think that the and what I would normally be doing today is preparing the next lectures. Let me put the date on that wrap up final week. I would need to be looking at the next. I uploaded, I think, the stuff into the. What did I put the date on there? June 6th. I don't. It's got. It's an, June 6th. Don't know that release date makes sense particularly. Yeah, these things are so annoying. Okay, right. Right, I guess that's a Thursday release. That's not. Well, that would be Friday, but it June 6th. Okay, that's not a reasonable date for it to be. Let's just move it to 12 there, so I'm not caught completely off guard. But I think it hasn't made that. It's left it as private. I think it. I don't know. But the thing to be looking at is. Yeah, okay, so this is the part 2. I just opened that twice for some reason. I don't know. Right. And so this is supposed to be being released on. Well, that's beeping. Right. We've got all of this being released on June 10th, which is next Tuesday. I guess if I just go to my list of things, so I guess what I need to do in prep for MOOC 2 is I need to review the introduction.
I guess we'll be using the same forum from.
Yeah, I would have thought we'd just carry straight through. Yeah, but that means I've got to ask for a review introduction. We've got review advanced Rails code, and then it's lectures. Right, and so that comes up, and then we've got. Yeah, I think the way that the quiz 1 is set up there is for release on the same day. I'm thinking of moving the all the dates back so that the everything's released on the assignments are released on the Thursdays. I've got this schedule document. Yeah, so I've got the release dates down all as. Oops. Why is that giving me a space at the beginning? This doesn't matter. This. Oh, it's just right. It's just right adjusted. Yeah, but so I think I want to make. Why does it equal to F30? F30 is there. I think I want all of these to be just 2 days back. Although we've got Homework 1.5 being released on the Tuesday with the second lot of stuff. I wonder if that should be introduced on the. That should be released on the Thursday. Right, we don't even have that. Yeah, I think it would make more sense to release that on the Thursday. Yeah, so there's a Oracle of Bacon homework. Needs to go in there. Where's that? Have I just put that in the wrong place? Oh dear. Oh. Oracle of Bacon. Yeah. Well, can I move that from there to there? I can. There we go. Right, but I think that should be released on. Let's put it on the Thursday there. That's the thing to do is then get. So that should be. There, we haven't got the homework linked in yet. And the quiz 1, I think that should also be the Thursday. Okay. Why my new iPhone keeps beeping, and I don't know why. It doesn't have any. What that's about. Okay. I think that makes sense, and I think so. Then these ones. F31, I'm going to put that should be like F30 plus 2 and F31 plus 2, F30 2 plus 2, F30 4 plus 2. Right. So we're going to need to, did you mention that we need to get the SE link into the system. We need to update the syllabus. We need to make a calendar. Okay. And then 7 days to do each. I guess it could go until the following Tuesday, really, couldn't it? No point in squeezing people like that on a Thursday. Oh, well, I guess they're being released back to back that way. Maybe that's all right. And there's kind of a gap there. We could give them until. I think the way that we've got that is that the more challenging one now? I don't know. Anyway. So these release dates of the June 17th, June 24th, July 1st, July 8th, July 15th. So this one really does have one section per week, inconsistently with that. What have we got in there? Okay. Okay, Amanda's actually put in a new thing with something from these guys. Okay.
Hey everybody, as you all know by now, I'm Armando Fox, and I want to introduce you to a colleague of mine, and to preface it, I want to remind everyone that the reason that Berkeley and others will be doing MOOCs is not just because we're excited that students all over the world can benefit from some of the work we do, but it's also because we think we can use the scale of MOOCs to actually improve quality of online education. And so I'm here to introduce my colleague, Mr. Tim Goldberg, computer science department here at Berkeley, and he's going to talk about an experiment that we would love for you to voluntarily participate in to give us feedback about this course and help us make it better. So Tim, what do you want to do? Well, thanks so model. The idea is called MCAFE. It stands for MOOC, Collaborative Assessment and Feedback. And this is a new system that we're developing that will allow students to give feedback to instructors, not only within the course, but at key points during the course, and will allow you to tell us how you feel the course is going, give us on a scale of 1 to 10, but also provide input, suggestions you have on how the course can be better. The idea is what they're going to be using all during the course. You'll be collecting all this data, and on a separate website, it will be distinct from the website you're using for the course, and then at the end, we'll be able to send you an updated report on how everything went during the course. We'll keep all their information confidential. We won't give any student names, but our idea is to understand how students are thinking about the course, identify students who might have difficulties, and then, most important, how we can improve the course. Great, then. So the URL that's on your screen right now is where you can go check out the experiment and indicate if you're willing to participate, which we really hope you are. And we will be reminding you during the course in the periodic announcement emails of time when we would like you to check back in so that we can see how you're thinking all the time. This is a big help to us, not only in improving the course, but in improving tools like this that we'll use in other courses. So thanks again for the beta test deployment. You all are the first ones to practice production. So thank you in advance. Thank you. And if you want, each time you do it, 1 to 2 minutes. We really appreciate it. So 10 minutes over the course of the class to make life better for everyone. Thanks a lot, everyone, and we hope you participate. Have a great evening.
Right. Yes, another thing that I've got to manage. So I've got to have MCafe in the emails. Right. Oh dear. Right, that's what, okay. So I know what that is. So I think that, so we're saying the release date for this is going to, this is, oh, that's the other thing, is I'm switching the order of the homeworks. I don't know, that's what I want to do. I'm going to have to review that carefully before getting into it. I think it makes sense to fix the bug first before asking them to add functionality. But that's going to require a careful review. Okay. But at least week 1 might be in some sort of shape to manage that way. Okay. So let's go and have a look at the thing live at the moment. So right, 1, we also need to clear out all of the course info stuff. Okay. Yeah, I guess the other thing actually is so what we should be doing now really is getting set up to try and send out certificates for the level 2 TAs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's just set up. All you need to do is edit the template, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think I need to remember how we generate those certificates. This is.
Yeah, I think it was like you had to set up a Heroku console into the
Yeah.
on the Heroku app and then just run the command.
Yeah. I would have to push the template into the system maybe. So I've got level 2 certificates for TAs. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. When we were running the course, I felt like when we were running the TA preparation course, I felt like we had a lot of engagement from TAs. I mean, I don't know. Partly if it's I haven't been able to be involved enough, but it feels like, or at least the sense that I get at the moment is that kind of the TA involvement in scaffolding students pairing has been relatively low.
Yeah, I think it's basically mostly students who set up the pairing.
Yeah.
And I don't really see many TAs. In fact, I was very into pairing on the first 2 weeks, and I haven't really done much in the 3rd week because I haven't got the time.
No, I mean it is quite time consuming. Yeah, I mean I sort of hoped with the I guessed I realized that we kind of got 50 people to complete the course. Yeah, I mean I don't know.
I mean it's easy to monitor the forums. That's why I can be, and it's less time consuming, so I can
Yes, no, you can
like
sort of fit it in here and there. It's less of a commitment.
yeah.
But even on the forums, I think I know, well, I think this has happened before. Is I think, for example, you and Mr. Johns are pretty fast at answering the questions, and I think some other people feel like they're kind of like, well, they're, do you know what I mean? Like they're not, they're
Yeah.
they kind of can't get to a question quickly enough. Do you know what I mean? It's there's not a very good division of labor. Um, but I mean, that's, I think that's maybe no particular change from previous setups. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna go just looking and saying. I mean, the first thing that I would need to do is to even work out which students or which TAs have completed. I guess we have been. I mean, the idea for the level 2 TA is that you've completed the 5, or it's like 7, supporting the week minus week 5. I guess there's we should really have supporting the week 6 in there, really, for, it's just because we've released, the last quiz is going out. There should be another round of support, and then we can get level 2 things, I guess. I was put these things in order. Yeah, I guess for the effort that we put in for the making the course and training the TAs, I don't know that we've necessarily managed to deliver a better quality of experience to the MOOC students than in the past, particularly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think like wasn't this year the highest MOOC attendance?
No, I think we had, maybe double the numbers for the last couple when they were running closer together. But I think we've had more in the first runs. I think had more people, and there was a large number of attending students. No, I think what I was sort of hoping was that we would get into a flow where we might be having TAs attending scrums more frequently, and there might be more of a kind of an ongoing conversation about the MOOC and a more of a whereas it's kind of, partly it was that the Skype thing died, and I don't know, I think maybe next time around with Slack it'll be better. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just my big hope was this idea that we will have lots of TAs to help scaffold the pairing, to make sure that the pairing goes well for the students. But I think it's just difficult to get a volunteer base really involved in the pairing. I don't know. I've been time squashed as well. I don't know. What do you think about do you think that the students are getting? And what do you think is the key thing that needs to be improved from the students' point of view?
I mean, as far as I have been monitoring the forums, I think the students have been getting the responses either from those few active TAs or mostly from students, like students answering students. So
Yeah.
I don't think there is much anything that can be done more than the forums.
No.
On the pairing thing, I think it's like more TAs need to be involved with the pairing, because at the moment it's basically students with student pairing, and usually they keep on stumbling on issues, and there is usually nobody to help them. So sometimes I think it would be better if I mean, in some of the pairings that I've attended, I've seen like students. Like they are completely new to the topic, so they might spend endless hours going on a simple problem, which
Yeah.
might be like very noobish for all of us who have been experienced. So, a TA's helping hand might have been better
Oh,
than.
I'm sure it will. No, that was the feedback that we got. I think the pairing sessions. I think we could also. I have some things about some scripted, how to do ping pong pairing, where it's to make it really really clear. But yes, I mean, we've just got. I mean, I'm just looking at a review that we've got on the, what's this thing called? We've got this. edX has got Course Talk built into the front of their system now, and there's a review from a student, and it says, after completing a dozen MOOCs, almost all of which is CSO related, this is the first one I have to drop. If we go and look at it here, that's mine, isn't it? I have all the prerequisites. I know Ruby and Java and Python. I refreshed it before the start, and the first 2 weeks were normal. Then in week 3 started the assault, acronyms everywhere, snippets of code with new commands and no explanation whatsoever. HTML, HAML, database migrations and operations, controllers, views, actions, HTTP protocols and routes, redirects, etc. All this with no explanation at all, and the third homework that asked me to modify a Rails application. It's more than a dozen different files where no idea where to start. The prerequisites for this course are severely lacking. You must know about everything. I talked about before, I have time to learn all of it in a week. Personally, I don't have the time. Obviously, somebody had, not having good experience there. Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, the responsiveness in the forums is reasonable. The question is, where's the best value for money in terms of things that we might change about the course in order to allow, allow people to. I mean, I think I sympathise with this individual in that I think that the workload from the course is very uneven. I think, it's a great course.
And one more thing is that, I've seen the first time I took the course, I didn't really get much of it, and it was mainly copy paste code, because
Yeah.
I think the usually almost all of the CS courses that I have taken, they go into the depth of the programming language they teach, but this is the only thing that doesn't really. I mean, the student might have come here for learning the framework, but I think the course is mainly about the teaching the agile principles. It's focused on teaching the principles more,
right.
and less on the framework knowledge. So that is why I think he might have had a problem in
Although I
understanding.
think he's saying that he already knows Ruby and he didn't have a problem with, the relatively quick introduction to Ruby. But I think what he's saying there is that he just, he got to Rails and it was like boom, it sort of blew up. I mean, I've just had this. We're having this discussion with Armando. I think HAML is just, it's just the wrong choice for. I mean, I think HAML is great in the right place, but I think for people, who are just getting, if this is the first web framework that they're using, I think HAML is a nightmare. Really, it's just. But Armando's really he thinks HAML is more concise. I think he thinks it's a good that it highlights the CSS and so on, whatever. But so he's so that's not going to change.
HAML is concise, but for people who've just come from HTML background, I think ERB is far better.
Yeah, me too. I totally. I think we're in complete, and Mr. Johns thinks so too. I think we're in complete agreement. But I think Armando seems unlikely to. I mean, unless we had. I mean, this is this new feedback thing. I mean, unless we had some big, petition signed by thousands of students saying, we find the HAML really difficult and that's why we quit the course. I think we're unlikely to shift Armando's position on that. That's a syllabus page. Discussion forums. I guess it's the edX forum. Is it still saying? It says edX 1691x in the URL. So there's a question about that. So maybe that. I guess I'll have to check in with edX if they want to have a separate one.
I think even the title has that as well, right?
Yeah. So we've got link USE required question mark. So we've got the live chat room. Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting question is whether, you know, whether to encourage, what position to take on the pair programming in the 1692 course. Um, you
The same position as in 91 course.
yeah, I wonder if I need to re-add the thing to get permission to use people's data. I guess technically I do. Um, yes, I mean, I think I I've got pair programming and pair programming on it. That's in there. That's the old one. Oh, I already added the new one. I have. All right. Yes, I mean, I think it is, and particularly, I mean, I've just spent the last 3 weeks like scaffolding the makers students in pairing sessions, and I think it is very difficult for newbies to sort of sort themselves out and work out how to do pairing, and need a lot of support.
By the way, the Makers Academy Rails tutorial, is that like kind of the same pace as our course, or is it a much slower pace?
Um, I think arguably it's a faster pace, but it's also a course that goes from it doesn't assume any programming ability at all.
Okay.
So
And
it starts from a lower level, if you know what I mean.
what is the workload per week?
Well, I mean, it's 9 to 6 every day, Monday to
Yeah.
Friday, and then you'll be programming all through the weekend as well. So I mean, it's kind of it's a solid 60 hours a week, I would say.
So that is why I think it is much easier to learn at Makers, even if it is faster paced.
I think you get a lot more support at Makers Academy. I don't know about easier. I mean, I think again, I think for people who are self-directed, motivated learners, they might find Makers Academy a little bit stifling, and I mean, it would for many people, it would start at too low a level for them. Because it's starting, from absolute scratch. And I think the troubles that people have at Makers is that because they're starting from complete scratch, and they're just, they're trying to learn, they know nothing about programming, and then they're right. Like, now we're doing programming, and now we're doing testing, and now we're doing Sinatra, and now we're going to do Rails, and now we're going to do AngularJS, and now we're going to do, make a big project. I mean, it's very cool. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Even with, somebody there, like, scaffolding you, it's still quite hard. So I think it's yeah. But I mean, I think the question is, what's the way to, how can you scaffold all of your pairing learners without having to have, a highly trained person in there in every session? Is there some way to? I mean, in some ways, it makes me feel like an automated pairing system that you could use and practice on, doing automated pairing with a robot, as it were, before you started pairing with other humans, would be kind of really, really handy.
I think that would be the Turing Award winner then.
Well, if it was perfect, but I think you can still, for a simple toy exercise where the series of things that you need to do are very clear, you could have a thing where you submit. Imagine it's like a version of an autograder where you submit a bit of code and it says, right, thank you, like you go, and it sort of says, oh right, look, the test passed. Now write another test, and that it sort of scaffolded you step by step through it, and it would fill in bits of code as necessary because it was a very simple toy problem. So, okay, and that says November. Let's put a new update in there. Well, okay, delete that one. So I've got the pages. So we can remove the old pair programming one. I think the pair programming page I need to check that for updates.
Yeah. And one more thing that I've noticed is like the number of pair programming sessions has dramatically decreased from the first week to the fourth week. So like many
Yeah, it's
people
really
have
dropped off. Yeah.
lost interest.
Sorry, I cut you off there. Sorry, say the last bit again.
Yeah, like it seems like many people have lost interest and started doing solo.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we saw last time, and it's not unsurprising. The I think part of what it is that it's actually like, I mean, we've got more of a Ruby intro now, but I think that it's relatively easy to start to do pairing on all the different Ruby things. As soon as it gets into the Rails thing, it's just like this guy. It's just like boom. It's like the jump between the last Ruby homework and then to the Rails homework is so hard. It's such a big step. And I think this and many other courses have got it completely the wrong way around. In that I think you should start coming in through design of lo-fi interfaces and HTML mockups and HTML, and then, as then many people actually they do this in Makers, they do Sinatra with ERB first rather than Rails. I think that's much.
Yes, I think I mean like there was this other course on Coursera. I didn't really go through it, but I went through the different weeks, and I think like it had the Rails framework at a slower pace
Oh,
and
I
all.
didn't realize that any of the Coursera courses have done Rails. You know?
Yeah, there was a course about web frameworks. I think that on the first one, web application architecture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it teaches Rails from the bottom up.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, I might have to look at that. But then this one teaches it's Rails and some other frameworks.
I think it's only Rails. Just have a look there.
Oh, okay.
Coursera.
Okay. Okay, interesting.
There you go, the syllabus.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, well, I'll be interested. Yeah, if I can maybe take that over the summer. I'd much rather do Node.js in some ways, but anyway.
Yeah.
Staff engineering startup. I don't know what Node.js courses there are at the moment.
I think there is one on Code School, but that's paid. And
Yeah.
I'm taking that at the moment.
Nodeschool.io.
What? Yes, and on this point, like I wanted to mention another thing is that like over the years as I've done the MOOCs and all that, I found like when I try to learn something by reading a book, I found that I usually lose interest after the first three chapters. But when there are like a video tutorials or something like that, I found it much easier. Like I just can't learn with the book sometimes. From like if I'm a beginner, then I just can't learn with the book.
Have you seen this one here? This Nodeschool.io?
No, let me have a look. Is that free or is that paid as well?
It looks like it's free. I mean, it seems like it's got like a choose your own adventure style. What's this? Oh, I thought it used to be pseudo.
Oh, it seems like
Oh no, didn't like it. It's like a choose your own adventure. It's like I can't install it, but it's like you play it. Macklin's uses it. It doesn't work. Try again with sudo in front. Yeah, which I did, but then no compatible version found. Duplex says install valid targets. Yeah. Oh well. Nice idea.
oh, it's kind of like Vim Basic, like the Vim tutorial.
Yeah, yeah.
That Vim ships with. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of effort going into maintain this SaaS course, but I don't know. I feel like the end product is kind of. I mean, I think it's great for really motivated people, but I think for people who are a bit unsure, it's not so good. I want to be able to just like search the issues here for like someone might have a solution. I know that there is a way to like.
Yeah, I think it was the second issue. I think it was the second issue as well, which you were having.
No, I don't know. I mean, see here, what I want to do is I want to see, like, search this repository. I guess can I search this
Yeah,
repository?
you can search the repository and then there is the issue tab.
Will it? There we go. Okay. Right. Oh, it's upgrading
Oh,
to the latest. Yeah. I mean, how do I do that? Upgrade to latest node.
brew update node or brew upgrade node.
Do I? Uh, mm, mm. Oh, okay.
That should
This
be
is
sudo npm stable. Try doing sudo npm stable instead of. Okay, interesting.
okay. Um, and then learn new node. Oh, hello world.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, well, that's interesting. Well, that's something to look at for node. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Like the thing about what you want with that is you want videos in a forum and this, that, and the other. But anyway, but that's interesting. Okay. So going back to here, part 2, remove that pepper. So I mean, I've got a list of things to update, and so I've got some. I think I'm gonna. So I need to. I've at least made a list of the things that I need to do, and I guess what does it all need to be ready for? It needs to be ready for next Tuesday. Yeah, and I need to do is email edX. What do I need to? I need to email. Yeah, edX. No, that's right. Alina. Let's do Alina. Alina Shaw. CC Armando. Okay, 169.2x. Hi, Alina. Hope you are well. We are just getting set up for. I wonder actually how many people signed up for part 2. 8,000.
8,000.
Yeah. I was wondering. Go on.
Can you get to know like how many people submitted homework to?
Yeah, I can do if I go and look. in the, so for example, or at least I did, and now they've changed but if we look at analytics, they've changed it now, not easily. So if I go revert to legacy dashboard, I mean, it's just some of the user interface stuff is so ridiculous. Just thinking about it. The current Stack Exchange integrates as 169.1 in the title. Personally, I'd like to keep the two classes in the same forum, but perhaps we will need to create a new forum for 169X. Do I not have lose? I guess it may also be time for a retrospective on the use of SE in edX classes. Okay, so we can sort of see here. See, again, it's like the whole thing is done by these stupid problem IDs like this. But I think, let me see, which is going to be homework 2? I'm just not sure. If we go and look at homework 2, and that's the one where it's a submission. See, that's got unit identifier there as that. That doesn't even appear in there. I sort of assume that these are kind of chronological. See, this is like scores. It's like 100%. It's like 13. It's a quiz. That's scoring 100%. 100%. I sort of, based on a previous, like this would be quiz 1. That seems very low for quiz 0 even. Oh no, look, we've got 500 there.
That's homework 1, yeah.
I think that's probably not homework 1. That's probably either homework 3 or homework 4. I would say.
Okay.
So I think these quizzes. It must be specifically this thing here. Like, can I even work out? Okay, yeah. I think the way I have to work out is I have to go to the live version of this, and I have to go to the specific thing here. And I have to go and say staff debug info on this, and then I have to go and get this problem ID from here, and then okay, so that's homework 2. So basically 730 people scored 100, and see, I would say based on this that we've got about 800 people submitting it, and then we've got 1,500 people who've looked at it but not bothered to submit it.
And that means we have around 18,000 students who have
not got
even.
that. They haven't even. They've given up. After week 1 or whatever, or week 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very different scale. But it's. I mean, it's interesting. Anyway, so I've sent that email. Okay. So I think I'm going to go and have lunch. I will. Yeah, I'll catch you later. Are you going to be around for the Atlantic Scrum?
Yeah, I'll be there on the Atlantic Scrum. I'm just finishing up my Slack thing. It should be ready for production.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right, I'll catch you in a bit. Bye for now.
Yeah.